President Trump now wants to meet with the whistleblower that revealed his impeachable offenses to Congress. So now this is following days of harassment and even talks of treason and the death penalty against said whistleblower. So my guess is that no, he or she is not going to want to meet with the president. Now, in a series of tweets, Trump laid out what he believes to be his case. And this is interesting. He said, like every American, I deserve to meet my accuser, especially when this accuser, the so called whistleblower, represented a perfect conversation with a foreign leader in a totally inaccurate and fraudulent way. Well, there is one way that you could make things clear. You release a transcript. You didn't release a transcript, you released a memo. So that's one thing that, again, anybody who calls it a transcript, they're lying to you at this point, because even what the White House even released said on it, memorandum. So now let's continue with that before I get more into that, okay? Schiff, he said, made up what I actually said by lying to Congress. Not true. His lies were made in perhaps the most blatant and sinister manner ever seen in the Great Chamber. He wrote down and read terrible things, then said it was from the mouth of the President of the United States. I want Schiff questioned at the highest level for fraud and treason. Again, very, very serious allegations. Okay. Now, in addition, he said, I want to meet not only my accuser, who presented second and third hand information, but also the person who illegally gave this information, which was largely incorrect, to the whistleblower. Was this person spying on the U.S. president? Big consequences. Oh, yeah, any whistleblower who sees big consequences at the end of that, and or just reads that entire tweet thread, they're not going to want to meet with the president. I can guarantee that. In fact, what they're going to want to do is get into protective custody. And that's actually what happened. So now, okay, so look, what happened last week too, combine this, right, with the fact that we know some information about this whistleblower, their CIA agent that was assigned to detail at the White House. Okay, so the New York Times gave out that information. Congratulations. Look, I know you might say, but you just gave out that information. Well, at this point, everyone pretty much already knows, and this person is now in protective custody. In fact, according to 60 Minutes, and this is, I think, as of yesterday, they had obtained a letter that indicates the government whistleblower who set off the impeachment inquiry of President Trump is now under federal protection because he or she fears for their safety. And look, if you were in that situation, wouldn't you? I know I would. So now after this happened, Trump earlier today tweets out this hashtag fake whistleblower. I mean, again, I'm not quite sure what that means, what that's supposed to mean. That there is no whistleblower that just made the whole thing up. That's no. Or maybe the whole thing about second and third hand information, which again, if you learn that, even if you didn't specifically see it, but you trust all the people that you work with and that you're around with, and they come to you and they say, hey, look, I saw this. I know that this happened. I heard this phone call. They locked away the transcript. This is a big problem. And you go, okay, I'm going to go up to Deshane and I'm going to report this because I am also not comfortable with this. That is a whistleblower. It's exactly what he is. So, or he or she. We don't know the identity of this person, right? And also remember that the Inspector General called this credible information. Very, very important to remember. And besides, if they were not concerned about this, and I'm talking the White House now, if Trump and the White House were not concerned, why lock the actual transcript away in a private server meant for only the most top secret stuff? There's no top secret stuff inside of this transcript. They locked it away anyway in a place where they regularly store national secrets. You're not supposed to lock away possible politically damaging stuff. And that's what impeachment is, by the way. Impeachment is a political process. So They locked that away for politics. Well, it must be really bad. Now, a little bit of an aside here. Putin says he hopes his calls between him and Donald Trump don't get released. That's also really interesting. um, he also says, Putin says, you got to get our permission first. No, that's not how that works. That's definitely not how that works. But here's the thing, right? Trump is guilty of asking world leaders for personal political favors. He is deeply personally corrupt. I believe so. I believe this. Why else would someone like President Trump seek office? We know who he is. Look, I don't think it's because he wants to serve the people. No. Look, I believe he rode a populist wave. Now, I was hoping that maybe he would do some decent things. Now, one thing I could say is pulling out of TPP, but then again, what he replaced NAFTA with involved some certain sections of TPP. So in reality, we actually end up having a worse NAFTA. So congratulations on that. I guess one good thing is so far he's kept us out of wars, but we don't know how long that's going to last because he is such a wild card. We just don't know. We just don't know. No, the reason that he became president, that he ran for president in the first place, is to enrich himself. That's what this is. It's personal gain, and he has done so all throughout his presidency. Refused to divest from his businesses. Regularly herds people over to Mar-a-Lago, world leaders, to stay at his resorts. That means money in his pocket. Making deals with certain airports in Ireland to have them ferry people over to his hotels so that he makes money. It is all tinged in personal corruption. He is the most corrupt president we have ever had. And so, look, that's why he's afraid of this, right? He knows he's personally corrupt. He knows he's been doing this. And so that's why he's having a meltdown. He's afraid of the contents of the call actually coming out and proving what we've been saying all along, that he is deeply corrupt and that he will use whatever power he has to enrich himself and to help his own political standing. This impeachment inquiry, if it leads to articles of impeachment, and the scope is not narrowed just to Ukraine, and that's the way that the Democrats can screw this up. They're going to find, I think, lots of examples of Trump doing just that, using the office for political, personal gain. Because that's all he knows, and that's all he wants to do. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.